Welcome to episode 1 of In the Real Podcast. We're your hosts, DJ and Aces.
And we got a crazy episode to start it all off. We're going to be talking movies, TV shows, all the good stuff. We're going to debate. We might agree. We might disagree.
A lot of disagreeing.
Yeah. But here we go, man. First up, we got some movie news updates. Superman early screenings. Did you hear about that?
Listen, this is what I think about this movie in general. And honestly, I never really gave a lot of thought into the early screenings because we've heard this before. The Flash. Apparently someone shipped something to Tom Cruise's house and it was the best thing he's ever watched in his entire life. So I don't really pay attention to those screenings anymore.
I think that was just to save film, save movies and pushing people to go to the movies after COVID, but The Flash was one of the biggest fumbles, biggest flops, biggest disappointments ever. But for Superman test session, we got rumors saying Nicholas Hoult is a great Lex Luthor.
I can believe that.
I can see that. Nicholas Hoult he's a really good actor.
I can believe that.
Superior CGI than what was seen in the trailers.
I didn't think the CGI looked bad in the trailers at all.
Nah, his face.
Are you talking about when
the flying scene?
When he was flying? He looked a little cross-eyed or whatever.
It did.
Yeah, but if you're looking at that scene, like freezing it frame by frame, obviously it's gonna look stupid. If I show you any action movie or anything like that, and I pause certain scenes, they're gonna have funny faces. But as the scene went,
it looked distorted.
As he was playing, you felt it looked weird as you were watching it.
His face, 100%. A lot of people did, not just me.
I felt like people were just nitpicking, and they just chose to freeze a scene or a frame and just kind of like blow it up in proportion.
Yeah. It was definitely a nitpick, 100% nitpick, but it's not that deep.
And
they're definitely gonna
something they can fix.
They're gonna fix. They're gonna fix. Some surprise villains. We don't know who. Rachel Brosnan is funny and adorable as Lois Lane. I think she's gonna be the best Lois Lane.
I think the best Lois Lane right now, it's a tie between Smallville's Erica Durance and Superman and Lois's. What's her name? Lois or
Superman Lois?
No, the actor's name. What's her name? Something.
Bitsy Tulek.
Wow,
yeah.
Bitsy Tulek. Yeah.
Kind of. She grew on me eventually, but yeah, no. Erica Durance is the best. I don't think. I think Rachel Brosnan just looks like they took her straight out the comics.
Yeah. She has.
She looks exactly like her.
She has the look of the character, and I feel like this movie overall is trying to emulate a comic book, like frame by frame, between like the loose clothing of the suit, the characters themselves looking very similar to like their comic book counterparts. I feel like it's trying to emulate that, and I feel like a lot of people are kind of in the mixed boat about it.
I don't know. Some of the suits kind of look weird, but it's definitely a more to the story with that.
You're talking about David's suit?
No. Sorry, I thought you meant like the Green Lantern and Hawkgirl and those suits that look like they're like uniforms and stuff. Yeah. Which apparently Maxwell Lord has a big part of that. But yeah,
I think so too.
The film's comedy is more punctual and accurate, also having emotional moments, and the tone is closer to Guardians of the Galaxy and the first Wonder Woman movie. The first Wonder Woman movie was I'm not gonna lie, it was alright. It is what it is for the first movie. But
theater. I left that trash.
But the tone, you can't lie, the tone was pretty good. The tone of the movie was nice.
Yeah, I felt
the dark, gritty, like
they had a template with Zack Snyder's Wonder Woman in BVS, and the director had to kind of build on that. So Patty Jenkins directed the first one, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like, not to say she's a bad director or anything like that, but I honestly personally feel like, you know what? Those movies were dog shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. they were
so
trash,
bad, bro.
And I don't get the hype about people liking Wonder Woman 1. I feel like a lot of these first movies or whatever, they get remembered in a positive sense because they did well in the box office. I felt like her movie did well. Aquaman did $1 billion. So in all these movies, people were like, yeah, they liked it because it was like.
Hers wasn't. The first movie wasn't that bad, was it? The first movie wasn't. It was all right. Like it wasn't.
Because I left halfway through.
Oh damn! Yeah, you said that. Yeah. Shit.
Well, and by the way, it was a free movie too. It was a scene points.
You didn't pay for it?
No, it was my scene points. You know how pissed off I was even more pissed that I feel like if I paid for it, I could have got a refund at least.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Spider-Man Beyond the SpiderVerse pushed to $20.99. How do you feel about that?
I never ever believed them when they said it was gonna come out when 2027? That was the original.
2025. This was come out this year, and then it got pushed to next year, and then now it got pushed to 2029. And one of the biggest parts of that is because of Shamik Moore.
He's down bad.
Oh no, I'm joking still, but yeah, that was crazy. This guy just like
that. I'm not gonna lie. People are bullying this guy on Twitter about the whole Haley Steinfeld thing. That's her name, right? Steinfeld?
Yeah.
Haley Steinfeld. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, like he kind of brought it on to himself. But like, remember the initial reports? Like the animators were being locked in a room and they were being held at gunpoint. They're like, if you don't finish this damn movie within like this time frame or whatever.
Was that what it was? It's the animators and all this stuff getting abused and shit.
There was a huge like outcry about that, how they were just being like overworked to death, you know. And this is some stuff that other people have spoke about too, like where a lot of these big studios are bidding these jobs to animation studios, and it's whoever can do the fastest, basically, fastest and quickest. Yeah. So it's like, I don't think it's a matter of the actors. I feel like it's just an ambitious movie, and the animation is very top tier in that movie. You know what I mean?
When did the last one come out? 2023 or 2?
Was it 3?
Fact check. SpiderVerse 2020.
I think it was 2023 if I'm not mistaken.
Across, right?
Yeah, because
2023.
So originally Beyond was gonna come in 2024, unrealistically, because they said the next year.
So first 2024, then they got pushed to maybe I think 2026.
Not happening. Impossible.
2029. If it's gonna be good and better, if you delay it, sure. But I don't know. That's too much. Too much of a delay.
If shows like Invincible take a year to make, and people are pissed off with the animation results, then what do you think a movie about CGI spiders with 1 billion different characters is gonna be like?
So they have limited animators for Invincible. They have like 10 animators per episode. The rest of them have like thousands.
I think it's just an ambitious project. Like I feel like the scenes into the Spider-Verse, the fighting, I don't know. It's like you're not getting like, you're getting really good quality product. Especially the first movie, the scenes with Miguel O'Hare, which is the 2099 Spider-Man. Like the scenes were great. That whole movie. Yeah, the second movie where the train scene where Miles said that infamous thing.
And they have to keep up with that standard that they have now. People are excited. Like this is about to be one of the best, if not the best trilogy of all time. Yeah. So people are very excited. If they have to take their time for that, it is what it is. If they need Shamik Moore's bullshit to like simmer down a bit, that's maybe why. But yeah, moving on. New Earth Avatar in the works. What's your stance on Avatar: The Last Airbender? You watched it?
Look,
Air Korra, have you watched any of those?
I've watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm a guy who does not rewatch a lot of things.
Okay. Right? I'm a guy who rewatches everything. But
yeah. Like I have things I do rewatch, but they're very limited. Like like things like Smallville. Like I'll rewatch that. That's like a comfort place show for me. You know what I mean? But
Smallville's a banger. Smallville's actually banger.
It's just there's only very small limited things that like I watch. But no, Avatar, honestly, it's a go to that. Like anime. I don't even know if I can call it an anime, but some people don't like to call it an anime. But yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 series. I wasn't really a big fan of Korra. I feel like that's kind of like the general consensus about it on the internet, that people don't like that.
Yeah, and I really want to debunk something, right? And I think this guy's definitely going to be agreeing with me on that. People talking about Korra and how they don't like Korra compared to Aang. And I really want to stop this narrative of it's because she's a woman. It's not true at all, because then a lot of people would not be liking Toph, Azula, freaking Katara. Are these names going over your head?
No.
Right?
Come on, man.
Like,
You're talking about
Avatar
Toph,
really had
the Earthbender.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Avatar really had like strong female leads, and if you're gonna make like Avatar Kyoshi, who was the Earth Avatar a few avatars before Aang, she's one of the strongest avatars. She was up there, top tier. Korra was just through and through trash.
She made a lot of dumb decisions.
She made it, and that's the thing too. She got beat up a lot, but she made a lot of stupid decisions.
She was moving like a tank.
She severed the avatar tie with all the past avatars. Aang had to come back from the afterlife and give her back her bending that she lost. She lost 3 of them. People are out here like, yo, she was so sick she mastered 3 bending styles before, like when she was a kid.
Okay.
That's how sick she was. But then that did not translate when she grew up. And it's just dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb
Weren't
decision.
they going to make a new Avatar series with all of them grown up?
That's separate, right? So
that's still coming out.
That's still coming out. That's coming out February of next year, I believe.
Okay, and he's still the Avatar, technically.
Who, Aang? Well, yeah, it's gonna be like a past thing, right? So it's gonna be when Team Avatar, which is Aang and those guys, in their like mid to late 20s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like they're a bit older, and like that's gonna be a movie. So like the Netflix.
Oh, it's just a movie.
It's gonna be a movie, yeah. The Netflix live action thing is separate.
Live action?
You didn't see last year the live action show came out? Avatar: Last Airbender?
Yeah. Is this thing that's gonna come out as live action too?
No, this is animated. Yeah. So
God.
the creators
shit.
dropped out from the Netflix series.
Okay.
The real creators.
Thank God.
But then Nickelodeon gave them Avatar Studios. So now they're doing a bunch of stuff.
What do you mean they gave them Avatar Studios? The original guys?
The original guys now have their own studios to work with when it comes to everything Avatar. So they're making the movie about Aang.
They just give them more control.
They're making the new Avatar Earthbender, which is a
They
girl.
made the live action show too?
No, that's Netflix.
Oh.
Yeah.
Trash?
No, it was actually pretty good. It's like they changed a lot of things, but it's like it's an adaptation. They're going to change things, but no. Nothing can hold a candle to a show that's rated 100% everywhere.
Did you watch the One Piece live action?
I did.
Trash?
Me personally, and a lot of anime people might kill me for this, I really like the One Piece live action.
Yeah.
But I never watched, I don't know the One Piece lore like that, so I'm just a random person watching it, so that's why I kind of liked it. But no, I don't think the Netflix series can hold a candle to freaking the animated stuff. But yeah, it's going to be about these twins. One of them is orphan, or sorry, not an orphan. One of them is kind of disabled. Amputee. She's an amputee, and she's like a poor girl, while her sister is like, they got separated, some Luke and Leia shit, and she's like in the rich side and all that stuff, right? So they got to find out what happened, and like these seven havens are put together and stuff, and Korra kind of did something in her time to really mess up a lot of things. They literally said that she did something to kind of put this all.
You know what? Here's one thing I'll say about it. I like in certain shows where the protagonist or the hero or whatever actually loses. You know what I mean? And I feel like even though they can kind of spin, they can fix it. You know what I mean? They can say, she just didn't achieve her mission as the Avatar, right? Yeah. Which is what, to bring peace or to unite everyone by bending all the.
She had the bright idea to mix the spirit world and the regular world. Who the hell told you to do that? And then she went on a vacation with her girlfriend afterwards in the spirit world. Get out of here, bro. Why are you taking a vacay? You messed everything up.
No comment.
I'm sorry. That's just that. I don't know. Comment. Anyways, moving on. Daredevil Born Again review. We just watched episode 3. How are you liking the show?
Listen, that's a banger. If you haven't watched Daredevil Born Again yet, get Disney Plus. It's $1.99 for 4 months. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right? You can share it. I'll share you my account. You know what I mean? If you can't afford the $2, I got you.
But I don't know. The one thing about that show that kind of like annoyed me was.
Here we go. CGI, right?
No. The CGI in the beginning was kind of off. 100%. Like, we can't argue about that.
Okay, but like, is that a reason to hate the show? Like,
I never said I hated the show. I would rate the show at 8.5 right now.
There's a lot of nerds on Twitter
that are going crazy.
Oh my god, the CGI is so horrendous. I couldn't even watch. Like, shut the fuck up.
The rooftop fight scene, a lot of the times, in my head, when I watch Daredevil, a lot of times he's fighting, it just looks like he's tired, right? And it looks realistic.
I mean, yeah.
It looks very realistic.
Bruce
he's not
tired.
A superhero. He's not. He doesn't have powers and stuff like that.
Has an LA Fitness gym membership.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I'm like, you can make things look better. The fight on the rooftop kind of looked a little off. When he was running, and he's doing the swinging and stuff, I liked it. But the first time he swang, and this is so nitpicky, the first time he swang onto that steps, those stairs,
and then
he just dropped.
Yeah,
I had to replay it, and I'm just like, bro,
that was horrendous.
It was very bad. It was very, very bad.
As the first scene, the first
CGI,
suit, they buffered.
Bringing Daredevil popping up, you see him actually swinging now like Spider-Man. Like, bro,
the
just
swinging
like the comics.
was nice on the rooftop. Look, I'm gonna be honest.
The swinging was good because you could barely see him though, right? There's a lot of smoke and stuff, and it's like they masked it pretty well to make it look still nice.
I'm gonna be honest. The CGI was not that good for that first scene where he's meant to like bounce off the wall. Like it's like he's swinging, and then he uses the wall as a secondary point.
It's the
bounce,
transition.
And then
it's the transition.
It just looked like he just hit it and just said, like they just dropped him there.
Yeah, you can tell that they literally
stupid.
wanted to make it like he hit off the wall, he jumped down, and he's running.
Like a Nightwing
but he
acrobatic
hit off the wall.
type
You know
thing.
they called cut.
Yeah.
And then they're like, all right, they position the camera. All right, now start running. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. I don't like choppy stuff. But my one gripe, I can get over that stuff. My one gripe is them killing off Foggy. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, in hindsight, I kind of like it because I kind of like his new team. Yeah. Right? I like that guy with the glasses. I like the new girl, those three working together. Yeah. But I'm kind of like, couldn't you just do that with Karen and Foggy? I think, and then maybe kill him off at the end of the show.
Nah, I think they needed to.
They killed him off in the first 10 minutes, bro.
I think they needed to do something a lot different from what we were used to before. And I feel like, here's the thing: when this show moved to Disney Plus, it was marketed as something different, something new. And then they're like, you know what? No, let's kind of rework what we already had with the prior seasons and make it a soft reboot. So it's not something completely different, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why they brought back these characters. Maybe they cut them off too early or whatever. They weren't originally all a part.
They brought back Karen, Foggy. They brought back Bullseye. Yeah. And what happened to all those characters? They only showed up in the first 10 minutes. So it's like they told us. It's like they told us, yo, we're gonna give you guys what you want for the first 10 minutes, and then we're just gonna keep doing our thing with the show that we originally planned to do.
But at the same time,
I don't hate it. I'm not gonna lie, I don't hate it.
You kind of have to do something new because again, I felt like for me, I love the original series. Yeah. But
amazing.
I also felt like this is like a fresh take on it at the same time because I'll compare it to this. This is the only time I've seen it done before, right? Maybe this has been done before, but I don't know if you guys have watched Top Boy.
Yeah, of course.
There's Summer House, which was like the original series, which was like 8 episodes, 2 seasons, 4 and 4, or like 4 and 5 or something like that. And then they brought back, or maybe the Summer House was the new one, right?
No, Summer House was the first one, and then they just brought back Top Boy.
But they named it something though, the season. Whatever.
It was just Top Boy, yeah. It was just Top Boy.
Yeah. So again, Top Boy is one of those shows. It's a slow burn in the beginning, especially the original series. It's a slow burn. You're getting into it, but once you're familiarized with the characters and the plot, it's good. You want to keep watching more of it. And I felt like when they brought it back, it was again, it still was connected to the original series, but it was more of like if you were a new viewer, you can get into the show at that point, and it's fine. And the pacing was a lot better. It didn't rely on that character building, story building all over again. It kind of already assumed like, yo, you know who these guys are. This is the main guy. This is the villain. These guys are beefing, whatever. And I feel like
that's a very good comparison, actually.
This show kind of does that too. It's like we're not gonna explain who these guys are, right? First scene is them in their practice where it says Nelson, Murdoch, and Paige. So you have an idea. Okay, these guys are lawyers there, right?
They finally did it. They finally did their thing.
And I don't.
You know how many years it is from the last Netflix one until this one?
I think a few years. I think nothing too crazy.
Do you know how much? Fact check that if you can.
It's not a huge time jump from what I understand because they.
But they did a lot. They got a whole practice. Like he's rich now. You see his condo. Like he's up. So they have to have been doing bare cases and stuff like that.
But that was a year after the first 10 minutes.
No, but they were still up, right?
They didn't show his apartment or anything until afterwards, a year later.
Oh, but I would just assume.
Yeah, that was a year later. Yeah.
But his firm has a new firm with the girl.
I think it was a few years from the last season because they still kind of reference like.
But I think they're still making money because like.
Yeah, the lawyers.
These guys have a whole firm.
A year later, they kept referring to him like within that year. I'm glad you're doing better. I'm glad you're successful. From when Foggy died until that point. Yeah. But from the last show until this, it says at least 8 years.
That whole thing
from the Netflix show until this rebooted one, it's 8 years that passed. I'm gonna confirm. Bro, yeah.
8 years of real time or like in the show.
In their same practice in the beginning of the show.
Because Marvel usually goes with the real time. So when's the last season? When did that come out? What year? Like 15?
I couldn't tell you.
18, I think.
2015 it started or something like that.
It has to be 2018. It can't be 15. 15 would have been 10 years ago, right? 2017, 2018 probably.
The Netflix Daredevil show.
2018.
Yeah. 2018 it stopped or it came out?
That was like the end.
Yeah, it started 2015. Yeah.
Yeah, so
it makes sense.
8 years.
Real time.
But look, honestly, the show is going in a good direction. I love the visuals of it. I feel like they've actually improved besides the CGI. Like all the shots of New York. You have like a real vibe, especially the BB report, you know, when they were cutting into...
I'm indifferent about that.
You don't think so? Or
you know why? Because, like, the reason why I'm indifferent on that, I just feel like it takes up... I'm just like selfish, bro. It takes up too much time. Like I just want to watch Daredevil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not bad though. The whole BB thing, because they included that she's the niece
reporter
of the guy that this guy dupes.
Yeah. Killed. What's his name again? Something Urich. Ben Urich.
Ben Urich.
Yeah.
And that was so sad, man. That was so sad. And the man looked at her and like, yeah, your uncle was a nice guy.
Yeah. You think she
That's
knows?
crazy. Good question. Maybe she's doing all that.
That could be a plot point. I'm not gonna lie. I just think overall, like, the show's heading in a good direction. And
episode 3 was amazing.
Yes.
It was one of the most beautiful episodes and a lot of people are making these comparisons of like how, you know, how in the first series he's a big church guy, he's big, like, you know what I mean? And he just, that moment of him sitting in the courtroom playing with that little thing, the horn of his thing in episode 3, he's just sitting there and people are drawing like comparisons to that and when he sits in the church and it's like, I don't know. That's such a Matt Murdock type of scene. But I love the lawyer shit. I really love that shit. Yeah. It was but I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of glad it's done.
Yeah, you
and rest in peace to the White Tiger actor, man.
He actually died from cancer, I believe, right?
That's sad, bro. Yeah. Camara de los Reyes.
Yeah, I thought the way he died was a bit
shit.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's like, it was very bad.
Like, fam, he's a superhero with super senses when he wears his amulet.
That's what I'm saying.
And you just give the man a thing to his head.
And I promise you, that's not Punisher. So that makes it even worse.
No,
that is not Punisher.
You could see the cops. They have the Punisher tattoos.
And in the comics, there's this thing where the cops are basically doing that.
Blue Lives Matter.
They love what he's doing. They love what he stands for. And they even go to him saying, like, yo, we want to be like you. We want to do what you're doing. And he tells them, like,
well, he's in the show.
Stop.
He's in the show.
But this is why it's going to be so good. Because I feel like Ace's prediction right now. Yeah? Daredevil's going to page him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
get these fools under control.
He's the skull. No, I think he's going to think he killed White Tiger to the point where Punisher says, it's not me. And he's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go after the corrupt cops with you. Because there's like behind the scenes footage of them two in the streets with him having blood all over him.
Yeah.
And Daredevil in his suit. So, yo, if these guys work together in the end, this is going to be one of the greatest shows.
Yeah. They're giving us everything that we wanted. I'm not going to lie. Kingpin, Punisher.
Yeah.
Bullseye.
Bullseye was amazing.
Who are we missing?
Spider-Man.
Spider-fucking-Man.
I don't think so. I don't think we're going to get it. I don't think
we're not. It's been confirmed.
We're not, right?
Yeah, there's an executive that said there's a reason why that he cannot show up in TV shows.
Okay.
Why is this rights thing overly complicated? I don't know. But
that's I don't know. That's
we could have had a really good transition into a TV show, into a movie for Spider-Man 4, where this kind of goes into his world for that movie. But at the same time, I'm kind of happy that's not the case, because the general audience is not going to watch the TV series, unfortunately, and they're not going to keep up with the plot point, or you need to watch the show and the movie. Prime example, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Captain America 4. I know those characters are not as popular as Spider-Man and Daredevil and Punisher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that just goes to show you, like, Marvel TV is not that popular, in my opinion.
Captain America 4 rating, Brave New World, 3, 2, 1,
7.
8. Yeah, it wasn't bad. People are crying about it for no reason.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
I actually think people are crying about it.
I would watch
it. Give it an 8?
Give it an 8. I give it 8 from time.
That's a bit high.
How?
Yeah. 8's a great movie.
No,
that was a good movie. It's not a great movie.
Yeah.
9 is
if I rewatch it, it might go back down to like a 7.5. But
I didn't like the beginning. I thought it was very Power Ranger-esque. All that fighting in the beginning where he was saving those preachers. Like, what?
Really?
That didn't remind you of Power Rangers? Wild Force?
I love the fighting. I'm not gonna lie. His fighting is sick, and they show you he's sweating. You know why I really like this show? I mean, this movie, because it still held the heart of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I loved. I love that show. I like that show because it showed Sam Wilson going through what he's going through, and at the end, I'm still like, okay, this guy's hesitant on taking on the mantle and all that.
Yeah.
This movie, he proved it. He proved he doesn't need the super soldier serum, and he knows there are certain things. This guy was shaking it with the Hulk. With the Hulk. The fact that conversation he had with
Captain
Bucky.
America would shake it with the Hulk.
Not as much. Not as much. There's so many iterations of Captain America fighting the Hulk. What do you mean? And he's not shaking it as much. He's gonna get dubs.
Captain America.
He's gonna get dubs, but still.
Okay, fine. He's not gonna get smoked fast as Sam Wilson. He's a regular guy, but like.
Well, he's the Hulk.
In case
at the
there's
end of the day, at the end of the day, but that whole conversation with him and Bucky, saying how many alien invasions has Steve stopped, right? Like, to put into perspective, like, this guy knows, bro. I am nothing when it comes to these bigger entities, these bigger powers.
Should took the
You
serum.
know what I'm saying? So I love it. I love the fact that he's now going to build the Avengers, and the ending, the last scene with the whole, what's it called, the leader.
No.
You didn't like that?
No, fam. I'm tired of. There's more worlds out there. There's another reality.
We're literally 3 movies away from freaking one of the biggest Avenger movies that are gonna lead into Secret Wars, and you're telling me that it doesn't.
I'm just over the multiverse trope. That when I hear
tough love, bro. There's the whole next 2 movies are multiversal movies.
Okay, I didn't say I'm not gonna watch them and enjoy them. I'm just over them. I'm just over that multiverse stuff. I'm over it.
But knowing what you know and seeing the leaders say that, like, it's coming. Like, it's really coming. And I didn't think this was gonna be like
Secret Wars.
Yeah. That whole thing of him saying, "Yo, can you like, what are you gonna do against all these other people that are coming?" Come on, man.
Who's coming?
That's insane. All these other worlds. How are you gonna protect your world against these other worlds?
Who's bringing them?
Who knows? Freaking Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom. What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Do you know the premise of Secret Wars? Like, the incursions, these worlds hitting each other, and it's kind of like Crisis for DC.
Yeah, that I know.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, in the comics, it's like you either have to destroy that world, or it's gonna hit you, or it's like
they actually did something like that not too long ago in DC, like almost 6-7 years ago. There was I don't know if you remember.
Crisis, no?
No, not Crisis. It was they did something very similar to that where they had different worlds fighting, and it was like this Superman from this Earth, and like fuck, I can't remember. Anyways.
Well, that's how certain characters crossed over from the Ultimate Comics into into the 616 comics.
They
like
better do it
Miles
good, man.
And
they better do it good,
stuff like that.
Let me tell you, there is superhero fatigue going on right now.
Well, staying on that topic, Doomsday Leaks, freaking amazing.
Looked hard as shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. Looked super hard.
Super hard.
Looked amazing.
Yeah, we got Damson Idris, who basically gonna be the next
Does
Black
that
Panther.
look like Damson?
That super looks like Damson Idris.
Yeah, I was just
100%.
I don't know.
You put the pictures together, it looks
exactly
like
it. A little bit. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. No, it definitely looks like him. What do you think of Star-Lord and White Vision being like the mentors to the young Avengers?
I think Marvel has like the structure of like heroes always being buddy. It's like being regular with each other, and I feel like with Star-Lord, because technically Guardians of the Galaxy, they're all done. Like, all their contracts are done. Like, none of those guys are coming back, right? Batista's not coming back unless James Gunn is doing it, he said.
And he's not coming back.
Yeah, and then what's his name? Or not? What's her name?
Star-Lord is the only one who's Star-Lord is the only one who's
Yeah.
confirmed to come back, as they said at the end of Guardians.
Maybe Rocket Raccoon. I don't know.
Yeah, because he has his whole team, right? Up in
Yeah,
he's leading the Guardians,
Groot, maybe.
he could definitely
But yeah,
come back.
I think at one point it's just gonna be. Yeah, he's gonna be a bit lonely, so it makes sense for him.
What do you think of that picture with they said Emperor Doom and the
Reed
white
Richards.
with Reed Richards on the ground and his wife and son beside him, Doctor Strange beside him.
Look,
who's holding Reed on a leash? Yelena.
If you guys know, look, I'm a big comic book fan. If you guys know anything about Doctor Doom, this guy is like, he makes Thanos look like a hoe. You know, like, I don't know. There's a particular scene in one of these comics that's been going around on Twitter, right, where
he rips his skull out of his.
He rips his spine out of Thanos. Like,
yeah.
And I think he had the gauntlet too. Thanos had the gauntlet. So it's like, bro, Doom's on the next level.
Yeah.
And I don't know how these guys are.
Actually, I'm not sure if he had the gauntlet. I don't think he did, actually.
One of them had it. I don't know if it was Doom or him or whatever the case is, but all I'm gonna say is, again, I like Doctor Doom. I feel like they're building up to be the perfect bad. He was a replacement for Jonathan Majors, you know, which honestly I'm not very upset about.
I think Marvel jumped the gun. I think because he got
he got quitted.
He got quitted, right? He's not wrong for anything or did anything crazy, but
you can't be beating on a white woman in Hollywood and have a job.
Yeah, no, you can't, 100% not. But like anyone in general, but shit, man, he was very good as Kang. He's the only reason I can even rate Quantumania.
He's a menacing guy
as anything.
He's a menacing guy. When he turns that switch and he acts like a menacing dude, like you feel like this guy's kind of scary still.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I just felt like the story was a bit underwhelming. Can we agree about that? Like this guy's.
I don't think
the big bad of Quantumania.
But I think
it would have with a bunch of ads.
It would. No, that's bullshit. But it would have led into more. You know what I mean? And I think because they just had no direction with what they're doing, there's so many movies that came out recently that are just
underwhelming.
The Marvels, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Chill.
Multiverse of Madness.
Strange 2 was a banger. Bro.
No, you're lying right now.
Sam Raimi didn't do his thing?
No, bro. Sam Raimi did his thing, but it's not his fault as to why the movie ended up being the way it did.
So that movie was
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
It was bad.
That is the most disappointing movie of Phase 5 or 4. Is that 4 or 5?
Are you guys serious?
Phase 4, that is the most disappointing movie.
You guys didn't like Zombie Strange and the music scene and
Zombie Strange was the worst part.
The music scene is the worst. I think Zombie Strange was boring as fuck. Oh my god. I think the Illuminati.
Are you guys serious?
The Illuminati was probably the best part.
No, that was the idiot thing. The Illuminati part?
Them dying is the idiot thing.
Yes.
But the whole scene of that. Fam, do you know what Doctor Strange said?
That's a cameo.
Illumawati? That's the jokes he's making? We're the Illuminati. The Illumawati? Like, this guy is just. It's a horrible. They nerfed him. He never fought Wanda once. Who? That's his main antagonist. He never fought her one time in the movie. Yeah, please go find me where they fought. They didn't fight once.
It was Zombie Strange. He didn't whoop her ass?
Zombie Strange? That's not him though. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean Doctor Strange? He possessed the body.
He possessed the body, but at the same time, he had help too. America Chavez was helping him too. It wasn't just him. And at the end of the day, this is Doctor Strange who went up against Thanos with what, 4 rings or 4 stones? And you're telling me now, I get it, she's the Scarlet Witch, she's not Wanda anymore.
She's
the Scarlet Witch.
She's turned
up. She has the book.
She might deal with Thanos the way she was now.
She was dealing with Thanos.
No,
regardless.
That wasn't that movie. No, you guys are tripping. You guys are tripping.
They nerfed him. They absolutely nerfed him. I don't think
he
that.
got nerfed.
I don't think
he made a bitch his match.
I don't know, man.
You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. I just think that was. Like, the horror aspects of it, what Sam Raimi did visually was amazing. I would give you that.
It looked 100%. Like a Spider-Man. It looked like a Raimi verse
movie. It looked amazing. It looked amazing.
Yeah.
But story, plot, you can't tell me it was strong enough for you to say that's one of the best movies.
I just didn't really like, what's her name? America Chavez. I felt like they could have cut her out the movie and, like, could have replaced her. They could have integrated that a bit better. And I don't know, like, it's always like that. It's always like this random little kid or girl or mystique or something.
They should have made Wanda play it a little bit more. You get what I'm saying? They should have made her play, like, the nice card switch up maybe halfway through or, you know what I mean? Yeah. Have them get her to another universe.
It was too early.
Some way, somehow. What I really don't like is the fact that they called it Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Okay. So at the end of the day, I am looking for certain things like seeing other worlds and seeing different characters.
You guys were expecting Tobey Maguire, X-Men.
If there's any movie to expect cameos, it's that movie. 100% it's that movie.
Yeah.
Just like Deadpool and Wolverine, and we got blessed with cameos in that movie. And I'm not saying every movie needs a cameo, but if you're gonna call it Multiverse of Madness, the cameos would be amazing. John Krasinski as Reed Richards, I love that fan cast, but they deaded him so quick.
I think they thought the Illuminati was like that was enough.
It wasn't cameos. It really was.
You had Professor X.
I'm not gonna lie. I can go
good cameo with the wheelchair. Broski came with the OG wheelchair. He came with the '99 Chevy.
And he got dubs easy. He came last too. They had a whole convo, and the man pulled up. Like, get the hell out of here.
He had no chance.
I don't know, man. No, I'm not saying anybody had a chance. At the end of the day, you're writing this shit. You can write it way better, in my opinion.
Could the movie have been better? Yes. Was it a good movie?
You know how many rewrites it gone through? How many reshoots?
It was still a good movie. Just the ending was kind of dumb. And America Chavez. That's it. That's the only thing I didn't like. And the Illuminati. Okay. does 3 things.
Yeah, that's too much, bro.
Not really.
How many things can you say was bad about Deadpool and Wolverine? How many things can you say was bad about Guardians 3? How many things can you say was bad about
just because
No
I
Way Home?
named 3 bad things in a movie, that doesn't mean because that one has 1.
Big parts. America Chavez is a big part of that movie.
I felt like she was a big part.
What else did you say?
The Illuminati, how it ended with them, just dying like idiots.
Nobody liked that, yeah.
Like, you could have still killed them in a way that was like more clever. Like, actually maybe tried to fight her and maybe she does like a spell to block his sound. Who knows? It could have, like, yeah, I'm gonna seal his mouth shut and he's gonna kill himself. And I feel like, yo, if like you're Black Bolt, I feel like wouldn't your power not work against you? You know what I mean?
Not necessarily though.
Like his own power hurt him.
That's a big superhero thing. To use your power against you. Reed Richards is an idiot for being the smartest person alive to say that.
He's
he
like,
can dead you with a single world.
If his mouth,
so stupid.
Like, what an idiot.
So stupid. Anyways, I know you haven't finished it, but Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, I just really want to say that's something
hard to watch.
See, now that's something that I judge so hard, and I'm still gonna judge for its animation, but
yeah,
I really like that show. I
Disney,
really
$1 Disney that's making $50 bazillion every second I breathe because of Disney Plus and Disney Ant-Man and Disney this and all this bullshit.
Disney Ant-Man.
And we're watching Microsoft PowerPoint animation quality. What the hell is that?
I don't know, man. I the animation shit, but
let me tell you something about Marvel and their animation. I don't know if you bagged it though. Look, I'm gonna be fair.
All their animation?
No, I'm gonna be fair.
What If is pretty good animation.
What If has good animation for certain scenes. X-Men 97.
Amazing.
Okay. Now let me, like, when they brought these shows back, or they were saying they were producing an animated show.
Yeah.
I thought that it was gonna be animation in the traditional sense, like what we used to watch when we were kids, which was like kind of like a 2D thing. And I don't know if you've noticed though, like these shows are all, I don't know if this is the right term, but they're all CGI. They're all like 3D rendered, kinda. You know what I mean? All of them, even X-Men 97. It just has like a retro filter on top of it. You know what I mean? And I feel like X-Men 97, they did a really good job. This is a hot take. I feel like they did a really good job at hiding the anime being trash. The animation.
What?
You know what I mean?
No,
it has that like 3D look to it, and I just didn't like that. Not all the scenes. Some of the scenes were good. A lot of the scenes were good, but it did have that 3D look where it kind of reminded me of What If. Maybe I need to go back and look at it again.
Oh, What If is very different. What If kind of looks like that.
Dude, look it up.
That drawing, like,
it's
I don't want to say clay, but
it's
like
3D, yeah, and it's like so. It's feels like
X-Men
there's
97
no emotion.
just straight animation though.
I don't think so, man. I think there was a filter on top of whatever they were doing.
Spider-Man or Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
They didn't try with that one.
You didn't try, but if you do try, I think you'll actually like it.
No, I'm gonna
because
finish I'm like halfway through the series.
The story for that was actually
the story is not too bad.
Really freaking good.
From what I've watched,
and I'm gonna tell you,
it's not bad.
There's something that happens at the end that just ties everything together that they just do so beautifully, bro. Like,
it's worth it.
Am I right? The last episode,
4.
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's our fact checker, Shaq.
It was great.
It's worth it.
I haven't liked the show since Spectacular Spider-Man.
It's that good. Come on.
I'm not saying it's as good as Spectacular Spider-Man. I'm saying it's.
Where do you rank it? Where do you rank it?
Second, after Spectacular Spider-Man, it's that one. I said that on my TikTok. Ace's Visuals. Follow up my TikTok for all things movies and.
No.
The older Spider-Man animated series, I would say it's number 2. This had only 1 season, but I can tell.
So far.
Okay. What's the top Spider-Man show?
Spectacular.
Spectacular Spider-Man is number 1 for most people.
100%. Animated Spider-Man.
For me,
Spider-Man the animated series.
Yeah, that was incredible.
It's 50-50 for Spectacular.
But yo, that doesn't hold up with animation now. Like, let's be real, bro. You're not sitting down watching Spider-Man the animated series.
Because I rewatched it 1,000 times.
You rewatched it?
Spider-Man.
Wait, the one that came out in like 98.
95. That was the original air date, I think.
In the 90s.
Oh, it came out in the 90s, right?
It was
Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was the same, technically the same universe as X-Men in like 97.
I promise you today, you're not watching that show over again. No, you're not. That's
like
a lie.
if the show came
that
out.
animation does not hold up for you to be watching that like
Bro,
that.
you're comparing something that's literally my age.
Yeah, and if they brought back Spider-Man now, and they revamped it like X-Men '97, then I'll say okay, maybe that show,
Well, they did. They did bring him back. He cameoed in X-Men '97.
But they didn't bring his show back. I'm saying.
No, they didn't.
We're talking about show for show, and right now I feel like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is on a very good track to be probably the second best Spider-Man show of all time.
Series was, if not one of the most influential Spider-Man. Look,
of course, bro. I used to wake up early in the mornings,
if Sam
go downstairs and watch that every morning.
Spider-Man, the Venom suit arc, bar for bar, he copied that bitch bar for bar from that episode.
Yeah.
The way he woke up upside down. Go watch it in the animated. The man woke up upside down, New York. Where am I? Copied it bar for bar. The same thing where he was getting angry and pissed off. That's not,
Shocker.
He.
Oh, that was. I remember that. It's Shocker.
Yeah. And Rhino too. He was tweaking. And he's the one that actually changed the black suit origins. It wasn't always like that, where the suit was. Where it made people evil. I think in Secret Wars, where he originally found the suit or whatever, it didn't make him evil. They found out it was alive and it tried to consume him, not make him evil. So this was the first time. He's the one that changed that, and it kind of stuck way better, as being a sentient thing that's influencing him in a more darker way. I'm not gonna lie, he did dirt with that show. You know what I mean? You had Daredevil, banger. The Chameleon, Kingpin, Green Goblin, those guys, 10 out of 10 villains, arcs, everything in the show. So the animation's not that good, obviously, but at the time...
You know what? If I'm complaining about the animation for Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and I'm also complaining about the animation for that show because it was super old...
Yeah, logically, you have to rate that show better.
I don't remember it like that. For me to remember its storyline. So maybe I have to rewatch it to see. I don't think I ever rewatched it.
It's up there with Batman the Animated Series. Batman animated series,
that show's good.
X-Men animated series, Spider-Man, they all kind of aired around the same time, and they were all had kids hooked on drugs.
And
man.
Superman the animated series.
Superman the animated series too. It was a good era where it was kind of they weren't all similarly drawn, but they were kind of all similar. If that makes sense. Now, all these shows, they have a different vibe and a different style, but all the DC stuff looked the same because it was the same universe. The Marvel stuff all looked the same because it's the same universe. And they could have did a crossover if they wanted to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
DC Studios' 6-year plan. Did you see that? And now James Gunn said that they're going to do a Marvel Studios, Avengers style endgame shit at the end of their thing. So their 6-year plan has... their goal is to release 7 projects a year, 2 live-action films, 1 animated film, 2 live-action shows, and 2 animated shows.
Which I was a bit confused about, because initially they said that they weren't going to do it like Marvel, where every movie or project was going to lead to something. Because that was the biggest gripe with Marvel, is you had to watch this movie to watch that movie.
Yeah.
You had to watch that movie, and it always just felt like a filler movie to get to the end. And even at the end, there was a cameo for something else, right? Mm-hmm. So the way they described it originally was these movies, while they will probably connect to a bigger project, they're all kind of their own vibe. You know what I mean? When you look at Lanterns, which is in the DCU, I don't get the same vibe as Superman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like they're all kind of their own thing. So I don't know.
And then you can also say Doctor Strange 1 was its own thing compared to Captain America 1, right? It's still fairly different. Guardians was a very different movie than Thor 1. It's all very different. That at the end of the day, this is all one universe. It's very unrealistic for them to say there's not going to be a bigger threat that comes where it's going to bring all these heroes together. It's so unrealistic. And why would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. That's what we want.
That's what they were saying. I think they just wanted to make it more build a connection, but not focusing purely on the next movie, the cameo.
But then that gets us stuff now James Gunn. What do you think about this, of him greenlighting stuff like a Clayface horror movie? Or, I'm not gonna lie, I really want this Deathstroke and Bane movie.
Confirmed though.
That shit I want, but Clayface is confirmed.
No, Deathstroke and Bane.
No, I'm saying Clayface is something that's confirmed.
Clayface is actually greenlit, and they've moved fast on it. For me, when he came out with the Gods and Monsters reveal, where he's like, "This is Act 1. This is all the movies." Yeah. He left some projects like unannounced, right? So I feel like these movies are those projects that were unannounced, and you know what? You have to do something different than Marvel. Like, there's this big superhero fatigue right now, where all these movies that come out, even Marvel too, DC never had a chance. Everything that they released, trash after trash. Joker, trash. What else did they release that was trash?
Yeah, but that's because too many cooks in the kitchen. It's not a cohesive thing. But James Gunn is... Peter Safran does the business side. Yeah, James Gunn is Kevin Feige on that.
I think I think if people want this movie to fail, it's gonna fail. I think that's where we're at with these type of things, because like
I don't think Superman's gonna fail.
Look at Captain America. I know that's like not a huge IP compared to Superman, but at the same time, it is a pretty big IP, and like people just they tore it down. Like, was it the best thing that they've made? Obviously not. But was it something that like didn't deserve to get watched or like praised or like do well? No, it certainly did. People should have watched it. I feel like for the most part, if you were a fan of what these people were making before, especially in the earlier days, you would like this movie. You know what I mean? So I don't know, and I feel like it's the same thing. There's a lot riding on this movie, and if it doesn't hit everyone's expectations, it's not perfect, people are just gonna shit on it. You know? And I'm not gonna lie to you.
And I can't blame them. I'm not gonna lie. I can't blame them for people who've been waiting.
You have to let things stand on its feet. You cannot like expect Superman. Like, yes, it has to do well.
How do you have an IP? You have Superman. These guys had freaking Iron Man and knocked it out the park. First movie.
Completely different. You're taking a guy that has no expectations and you made a banger. And guess what?
I think you have a lot of source material.
Every movie that came out after Iron Man 1...
No, it didn't.
Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 2 made money. The Incredible Hulk made money.
I'm not talking about
Thor
the money.
made money.
I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about the ratings. If you're sitting here...
If you really want to get into it,
Iron Man 3 was dog shit.
Iron Man 2... I don't know why that movie gets so much hate. I love Iron Man 2. I like it way better than Iron Man 3. People are saying...
it's definitely the better one out of all of them. One is good.
One is the best.
We'll put one to the side.
It literally goes 1, 2, 3, in my opinion, when it comes to Iron Man films.
Yeah, it kept going downhill.
Thor 1, when I watched it, I liked Thor 1 when I watched it. I can see why it didn't age well, but I liked it when I watched it the first time.
No, I think it was a good movie to stand on people.
And Captain America 1, I didn't like that one at first, but then not exactly. That's the complete opposite of Thor, where it aged way better, and I started to get way more into war movies myself. So I look back on it and I'm like, you know what? When I rewatch that movie, I really, really like it. But I don't know, fam. If you can't make a banger Superman movie with somebody,
good.
And I always say, in James Gunn we trust, because I know this guy's a fan.
Yeah, I trust him.
He's a fan first. And I that's what I trust. As long as you are a fan and you know what the fans want, and you stay true to the source material, and you stay true to the character, you'll make a good movie. So I don't know if they get this wrong. If he just does another Guardians or another Suicide Squad, which I don't think he will. But one of the comments that people made about the early screenings is it has comedy and the same feel as the first Guardians, which we said.
I think they're gonna make that comparison no matter what, because he's the guy that made those movies. It's like, you know, it's like Nike making shoes that look like Jordans. They're gonna say, yeah, it looks like, you know what I mean? That's what you guys are doing. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like personally, he's gonna do a good job. Is it gonna be like really good when, like, what's a really good movie that you watched for the first time, like Spider-Man 2 or Captain America Winter Soldier? Like, those movies, when you watch them,
I'm not gonna lie, Guardians 1. When I first watched that movie,
those movies stink. Only Guardians 3 was good.
Oh my god! Yo, who are you, fam? How do I not know these things about you?
And Guardian
of the Galaxy #1. Let me just tell you guys, okay? Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is the dark horse. It is the most... Everybody literally says that movie was such a surprise. That movie, going into it, no expectations, I came out loving it. And a lot of people say that. You're crazy. I'm not gonna lie. You're crazy, bro. No, you're actually crazy,
that
man.
That goofy ass dance at the end with Ronan the Emperor. I just didn't like it, man. I didn't like that. I don't like that shit. Like
they shafted Ronan. They definitely
yes,
shafted Ronan.
I know movies are supposed to be goofy, but like they just OD'd it, man. And Guardians 2.
No, we're not doing Guardians.
You're not gonna sit here and say Guardians 2 is a good movie. Look at me,
I think Guardians is a good. What's wrong with Guardians 2?
Number 2 is a good movie.
Number 2 is not a good movie. Oh, here we go.
Okay. I'll give it to him. When I watch Guardians 2,
why don't you like Guardians? Why don't people like Guardians 2? And I asked this guy this the other day too. I don't know, like.
To be honest, the whole plot with his dad being like a god planet, whatever, like
he put the tumor in his mom's head. That wasn't crazy. That whole scene of him just like looking at him, like, what did you just say? And then no long talk. Bah, 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 bah. I don't know, bro. The jokes really hit too. A lot of people are saying the jokes didn't hit, which kind of crazy. A lot of it,
it's forced comedy. I'm not gonna lie. With those guys, like, it's a little forced. Like, I enjoyed them in the Avengers movies, those characters, but I can't watch a whole movie about fucking Guardians of the Galaxy. Damn.
That's crazy.
Even Guardians 3, when you really bagged it, a lot of it wasn't really about them. It was like them coming to save Rocket Raccoon, and a lot of it was backstory of Rocket Raccoon with his homies. Mm-hmm. So, and like, that was really good. Like, honestly, James Gunn, kudos, hat off to you, man. You made me really give a shit about these characters. And that's all I want. I want to care about these characters. And I feel like those movies, I'm not saying everyone felt like this. This is just how I felt.
Surprisingly, though, a lot of people didn't like Guardians 2.
A
lot of people didn't like Guardians 2, and I'm very surprised at that. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't care besides the whole fact of me, like, look, Drax, very funny character. You know what I mean? He's hilarious. He's hilarious,
bro.
You know what I mean? Especially in Avengers, where he's like, I'll do you 3 better.
I'll do you 1 better. Wise Gamora.
Yeah, no, he's an idiot. But then even like Peter Quill too, like, I'm not gonna lie, he pissed me off in Infinity Wars, where he started like,
that's great writing.
What did you do, buddy? If I was Iron Man, I would have killed him myself. I would have put that nigga in the dirt. Okay. I think James Gunn, for me, he did a really good job with Peacemaker. That was
surprisingly really good.
It was great. I loved it. I'm looking forward to season 2.
He hasn't done anything outside of that tone.
He does a repeated formula time and time again. We're gonna see with Superman if he does the same shit again or if he.
You're hearing it's the same tone as Guardians of the Galaxy. What Superman movie should be the same tone as Guardians of the Galaxy?
What movie? What
again? I can't trust those initial reviews because they're always outlandish. You know, either they're so left field or it's like, I don't know. You just gotta wait and see it.
Yeah. Next up, we got a July movie battle.
There's a lot coming out this July.
Yeah. We got Jurassic World Rebirth.
Yeah.
We got Fantastic Four, and we got Superman. 3 big ones. What do you think is going to make the most?
I think realistically, it's going to be a battle between Jurassic 4? Jurassic
World Rebirth. I think it's the 4th one, yeah.
In this new franchise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's going to be between...
ScarJo.
Yeah, Jurassic Park, the movie, and Superman. And I feel like Fantastic Four, just because like it's been a long time since people have like, you know, the last movie was Fan Four Stick, which was dog shit, and that was 10 years ago. And I feel like
I watched that movie last month. That movie is so bad, bro. Like, it is trash. Madam Web, Fan 4 Stick, Wonder Woman 2, I think top 3. Like, horrible. Gal Gadot is somebody who looks the part, but as soon as she opens her mouth, it's like,
she
shut up.
Look the part.
No, she definitely looks the part. When her mouth is closed of Wonder Woman, she definitely looks the part. Yeah. She can't act.
Yeah.
No,
they
really
kind of made it work though. You know what I mean?
But I do think Superman's gonna win out of the 3. I think Superman's gonna make the biggest. It's the biggest IP, but I don't know. Jurassic World movies they make dollars. They make money.
People really are
arguing Jurassic World even being looked at between.
Jurassic World makes a lot of money, bro. Go look at the last few movies, how much they made. They do make money.
Out of the 3, it's like the little bro getting beat up.
No. I definitely think it might do better than Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I think so. I think
it might be better than Fantastic Four.
The only thing that's kind of like boosting Fantastic Four right now is the cast. Like, you have a good, relatively known cast. You have
Pedro Pascal.
You have the guy from The Bear. What's his name?
Eobon, something I forgot. You got
showed...
Joseph Quinn, which a hot take. I don't think is gonna be a good Johnny Storm. I have yet to see any.
I had never seen him before.
Any acting. I saw him in Stranger Things and I saw him in Gladiator 2, and I've yet to see anything that shows me he's Johnny Storm.
He looks the part. I just don't know about his acting.
I don't know if he looks the part. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't think so?
Like, pause. But Johnny Storm in the comics, the only thing he has going for him, other than his powers, is his good looks. Do you think this guy can match up with like Chris Evans, Michael B. Jordan type thing, and like I don't want to get too deep into this because it's super pause, but I'm just saying like that's what a lot of people are saying, and I can kind of see it. But anyways, let's talk the Odyssey, fam. Oh my god, this is gonna be the biggest movie of next year.
Funny
biggest
enough,
movie of next year.
This podcast, we were gonna name it the Podyssey.
The Podyssey.
And this guy,
come on an adventure.
He loved it.
On an adventure.
On the phone, he's like, yo, fam, the Podyssey is crazy. And then we got a couple of different people's opinions about the name.
Listen, man, when you do a test
apparently
screening,
people don't know what an Odyssey is. That's all. I'm gonna leave it
Fun
there.
fact, a lot of people don't know the Odyssey. A lot of people don't know who Odysseus is, and that's why we went with In the Real Podcast instead of the Podyssey. But it is what it is. I think this cast is super duper stacked. Got Tom Holland, Matt Damon, Zendaya, Robert Pattinson, Punisher himself, John Bernthal. We got Benny Safdie, Lupita Nyong'o, Corey Hawkins. Bro, this is a big one.
Okay,
man.
Who's the biggest actor on that list that you just take Matt
like
Damon
right
out.
now?
Take Matt Damon
I
out.
was about to say Matt Damon.
He's kind of like
he is Odysseus, so yeah. Okay, take Matt Damon out.
Robert, he's the biggest because he's been in it the longest out of all those guys.
So who's the biggest right now?
Take Matt Damon out.
I'm not gonna lie, Tom Holland's been on a little freeze when it comes to movies, but
outside of Marvel,
I would say Zendaya or Robert Pattinson. Oh, they're the two biggest on this list.
Yeah, like recency bias would say both
Zendaya.
Of them, yeah, I'd say more Zendaya.
Zendaya in 2026 is gonna have a voice role in Shrek 5 as his daughter. She's gonna have Euphoria coming out again, the new season. I don't watch that show, but yeah, she's gonna have the Odyssey. Apparently, Shorty's in Spider-Man 4 again. Get out of here! Why is she there?
That's his shots.
Speaking of Spider-Man 4, Sadie Sink, who's also in Stranger Things, redhead girl. She is somebody who's been eyed as
Jean Grey or Mary Jane, and I'm
but now she's gonna be in Spider-Man 4. You saw her, right?
Yeah, I don't understand. How does that even make sense?
It's because she has red hair. Nobody says she's actually gonna be Jean Grey.
There was reports, or am I tripping?
No. A lot of people, Marvel was eyeing her for the role of Jean Grey, but take this in. Spider-Man 4. I know, but Spider-Man 4 is supposed to be in between. It's supposed to be one of those movies in between Doomsday and Secret Wars. Yeah. And they said every movie that's coming in between Doomsday and Secret Wars is going to be on something called Battle World, which is something that they introduce in Secret Wars in the comics and stuff, which is like they take all these characters, right? And
no way.
They put them on there. It's kind of like a Dragon Ball Super type of, tournament of power type shit, but
I don't know if
a lot of things are going to be on Battle World.
I don't know if I like.
You know what I really think is going to happen after Secret Wars? It's going to be a reboot. Maybe a soft reboot, but a reboot nonetheless. They're gonna reboot a lot of characters. Maybe someone like Tom Holland's
I don't think they're gonna be doing a full reboot.
No, soft reboot. Yeah. Tom Holland's gonna be still Spider-Man. You know what I mean? But I think they're gonna reboot Black Panther and certain characters that don't want to come back. Maybe give us a new Iron Man. Maybe give us a new Captain America.
Thor's hanging that shit up after these movies.
But it's like he has a sickness, no?
Oh,
that's why.
Yeah. I think he's just done with it too. But yo,
I think he's
there's
one
a Thor
person
5
who
coming.
do it, whatever.
We need a Thor 5.
There's gonna be a Thor 5. He said that's the last one he's gonna do.
But it
so
needs
the
to be
Avenger
like,
movies and then
it needs to be like Zack Snyder tone. Like none of this tiki wakiki nonsense.
Tiki wakiki.
Yeah, I would not hear no tiki wakiki. That guy stinks.
I'm so glad they came out, and even Chris Hemsworth said like, "Yo, we kind of nerfed the character. We kind of did something wrong, which is like made it too jokey.
You overdid it."
But yeah, bro. I don't know. What do you have any more thoughts on the Odyssey?
Okay, I'm happy Tom Holland's gonna be in a movie that is more or less gonna be a guaranteed hit because Christopher Nolan's writing and directing, or not writing. He's not writing, is he?
He writes everything he directs.
He writes and directs everything?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that. Anyways, yeah, I'm happy he's gonna be in that movie because I feel like
Don't quote me on that.
He's been really looking for parts that can
further his career.
that can not bunch him into the Spider-Man type casting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like all the projects he's been in so far have been pretty flat, and I don't think that's a reflection of his acting.
Oh, Anne Hathaway's also in it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He works with her a lot.
So I think I'll put her up there as the biggest.
Those are like the goats, though. Like the old head goats. But yeah, anyways, I'm just happy this guy's gonna be in a movie that can finally showcase his talent. I feel like a lot of times people will confuse bad acting with bad writing, and I feel like he hasn't really had the chance yet to show his acting chops. But at the same time, we spoke about this the other day. Christopher Nolan has a very funny way of putting in certain people in his movies, and they get a lot of praise just because they're in a Christopher Nolan movie.
Oh, I know where you're going with this. Speaking of the devil,
no names.
RDJ, he's talking about.
I didn't say that.
A lot of people don't think that. Well, a lot of people do think that he deserved it. I am not gonna lie. Oppenheimer, his performance, it wasn't bad.
Mid.
It was good.
No, don't say it's mid.
It's not mid. I would say it's definitely. It's definitely above average.
Don't say it's mid.
It was above average.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was amazing. And I'm gonna have to relook at the Oscar nominees of that year. But
look it up right now
to see if he really. When was that?
That was last year.
Oscar nominations 2024.
I just think people were glazing a bit in terms of his performance, and if anything, I feel like did Cillian Murphy win an Oscar for it?
He won Best Actor, yeah.
Okay.
So in the running for that, Sterling K. Brown with American Fiction, Ryan Gosling with Barbie, Robert De Niro with Killers of the Flower Moon, and Mark Ruffalo with Poor Things. I'm not gonna lie, with a lot of people praising certain roles, I think Mark Ruffalo kind of nailed it and kind of hit it out the park. That's some guy who's in a lot of shit that people he's just amazing.
Yeah.
This guy's just amazing, bro. He was in that new movie, Mickey 17. And people are saying he's the best part of it. Yeah. So regardless, Robert Downey Jr. was offered the role of Poseidon in the Odyssey, but he turned it down because he's coming back for Doom.
Yeah.
So that's something you could have saw Tom Holland and him work together again.
Yeah. I want to end it off on one thing. What do you think about Warner Brothers kind of heading in the same situation as Fox, where they're kind of getting to a point where they can't sustain themselves? That's not the case now, but they've been kind of tanking at the box office.
Warner Brothers?
Yeah, Joker 2. What else?
I forgot about that movie, bro.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers guys with Peter Safran and James Gunn.
Yeah. They're
what happened?
Basically, because they haven't been doing really well with a lot of their releases, besides Barbie and was Oppenheimer Warner Brothers? I don't think so. It's just Barbie. But yeah, they haven't been getting a lot of success. Now they're expecting every movie to make, a lot of money. $1 billion, whatever, especially these big IPs, you know what I mean? And yeah, now they're talking about replacing the head with maybe Peter Safran. And what do you think?
The head of DC?
Yeah.
Or Warner Brothers, you mean?
No, head of Warner Brothers.
Oh, all of it?
Yeah. I mean, that's...
What, they merged now, no? So they're called Warner Brothers Discovery? Because they're merged with Discovery Channel or some shit? So you're saying they're trying to make Peter Safran the head of everything?
I'm talking about... I don't know if, that includes Discovery, but Warner Brothers, right now, they have IPs such as Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, the DC Universe.
Yeah.
What else? This Mickey 17 movie is the latest thing that the bomb or whatever. It's bombing.
It's bombing?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they dropped it during Ramadan. Nobody's watching it.
I don't even think that's the case, fam. I just
think most people are fasting.
I think they just kind of dropped them. I think they just dropped a movie that no one gave a shit about.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say it just looks boring.
That's
it doesn't look like you want to watch it at all.
I feel like they're going down two routes. They're picking high IP names, and they're relying on the name to be successful and make them $1 bazillion, or they're giving these odd directors or odd movies like Mickey 17. I just don't like. I think you guys need a balance. Yeah. You know what I mean? You cannot rely on the name of IP to just do all the heavy lifting.
Okay, but then we have adaptations off adaptations off adaptations. Now we get something that's an original thing, and people are saying we don't want to watch that either. So it's you can't cry about everything.
I don't think I feel like people make this a lot more complicated.
And I think people
you don't have to give original adaptations every single time. And by original, I don't mean like make the same movie, but like I'm fine with them using the IPs that we know and love. Just make the stories interesting. There's so many stories. Like for example, like I don't want to relate it all to comic book stuff because I feel like that's an easy audience to like kind of make stuff about. But like, look, DC was smart. You know, just look at Batman alone. He has Batman and Robin. You have Nightwing. You have Red Hood. You have the Oracle. You have Orphan. You have Gotham Police. You have all the villains: Joker, Clayface, Two-Face, Mr. Freeze. You have Man-Bat. You have Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Why have we not had a Batman Beyond movie yet? Like all these.
You know they turned it down. Batman Beyond movie that had the animation of SpiderVerse.
Yeah, so it's not that they're it's not that we're upset that you're using the IP. It's that you're not being creative with the IP. You're making the same Batman movie, or you're doing things like bringing back 80-year-old Michael Keaton. Like no one, like I'm not gonna lie, I liked it, but no one really asked for that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like if I had a choice to bring back to do something creative, that would have been my first option. I'm not saying he's not a good Batman. I'm just saying. That man had his time, he had his shine, he had his movies, they did well. It's regarded as one of the GOAT movies, comics, but like, I just think they need to focus on making good stories, whether it's originals or IPs that we know.
Fair. Alright man, let's end off on a little game. You want to do agree or disagree, or you want to do something called guess the plot?
Let's do agree or disagree.
Okay. Let me get some more agree or disagree questions real quick. Alright. Mix it up for you, okay? We got Arrowverse, we got MCU, we got DC, mainly Snyderverse, and we got Taylor Sheridan projects, because I know you're a Taylor Sheridan guy. As am I. I love Taylor Sheridan.
He has a good couple movies.
Okay, agree or disagree? Thanos is the greatest villain in the MCU.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not gonna lie. That's an easy one. That's given. That's a given. He's the greatest multiverse threat.
Not multiverse. Universal.
Universal threat. And then I would give, if you're including Willem Dafoe as part of the MCU, which he was in the MCU, but I don't know if that's cheating. I would include him as the best.
No, yeah. I put him up there too when I made my list, but I think Zemo was one of the best villains as well.
Underrated for sure.
Super underrated. Yeah. The only person who broke them niggas up.
Yeah.
He broke
what
them
did he
niggas
do to
up.
Make them niggas so
mad. Holy. Agree or disagree? Disney Plus shows like Loki and WandaVision are better than most MCU movies. 3, 2, 1. Disagree.
Those fucking shows stink.
I think WandaVision is one of the most overrated things ever.
Hot doo-doo ski.
No, I want to say that. Because I think it's just the first 3 episodes that kind of disappoint me.
How many episodes are there?
9. And the first 3 are the black and white, like the annoying setup.
So a quarter of the show is an idiot thing, okay?
But it was the first show, right? So they kind of test the waters as well, and you know what I mean? But
the black and white was 1 episode.
Oh, I didn't see this one. Agree or disagree? Black Panther: Wakanda Forever failed to live up to the original film. 3, 2, 1. Agree to the max. It was a great tribute to not just Chadwick Boseman, but to the Black Panther of that universe. But I don't know, they did some stupid shit, man. Why'd they kill the mom? You're gonna say they killed her so that it can push Shuri to be Black Panther. So what, the bro's death wasn't enough for her to be Black Panther? Or to do something with her life?
But the bro's
you
death
lost your
didn't
dad.
happen on screen, though. It kind of happened in real.
That's not our fault, though. Like,
so it's you don't get to kind of experience it, and it was kind of.
But she experienced it. That's what we got. She experienced it. The family experienced it.
Yeah.
And that's enough.
Yeah, they
that should be enough. You know, if she had a little hesitation, and then Namor comes, and Namor
he killed it.
Floods Wakanda without having to kill the queen, then
no.
I think that's enough of a reason.
Like whatever. Like I don't think
it's
her
the
dying
most.
or not dying really like I feel like if anything, her dying kind of serves more of a plot.
It didn't feel like overkill to you?
Super.
I feel like
the whole family's dead, fam.
Yeah.
The whole fam's dead.
Yeah.
You did not need to do that.
Yeah, but at the same
super
time,
overkill.
It's like now
kill her in the next movie.
This is real things that are happening to the character. It makes you feel for the characters. this doesn't happen to superheroes where everyone in their lineage or their kin or their friends and all their homies
you
die.
Overshadowed the death of Black Panther with the mom, because the mom is now the reason she became Black Panther. Okay. To me, watching that, I'm looking at it like there was no reason for you to make this a tribute of Black Panther, and her mom had to be the pivotal point for her to accept the burden. I don't like that. That's so stupid to me.
I wouldn't have replaced her as the main Black Panther. I loved Nemar's story.
I wouldn't replace her. I'd want her as Black Panther.
I love everything he did. I love how they switched it up a bit and made him like an Aztec.
You know what they should have done?
What?
They should have had T'Challa, by the end of it, be open, showing the beginning of by the end of his first movie. By the beginning of the second movie, they should have showed the work he's done making things open, and then have Namor come in and just shit up. So not only does she lose him, but then once Namor shows up, she's losing his legacy, because this guy's destroying his legacy.
Yeah, agree or disagree? Yellowstone is overrated and relies too much on drama over substance. 3, 2, 1. Disagree.
Agreed.
Wow, I super disagree.
If anyone knows me, I was talking a lot of heap of shit. I was like, yo, this show is like, it's hard. You gotta watch it. It started off really good. I will tell you this. The show does rely on being a cowboy a lot. That's like its main plot point. Like literally just being a cowboy.
But then that means there's substance, right? They're saying it relies more on the drama aspect of the show than it does the other stuff of the show.
I feel like they they romanticize being a cowboy. I think that's what it is. Like there's always scenes of them doing work and like a bunch of like country music playing in the back and them like crying over a cowboy that died or some shit. It's like cowboy culture. That's what the show is about. It's about cowboy culture.
But they made it to the point where, nigga, I'm watching that and I want to hop on a horse. Like,
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. They dripped it out. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to I wanted to go to Alberta and yeah, do some shit. You know what I mean?
Alberta.
But I feel like with Kevin Costner's departure and how they wrapped it up, it's very hard.
That was trash.
It's very hard to wrap it up.
It's really bad. I'm not gonna lie.
It's very hard to wrap it up.
It's really
the main guy that you watch it for that reason is like, deuces. Yeah. I don't want to do this shit no more because.
And also, it wasn't really his fault with the whole writer's strike and COVID that kind of pushed everything back. This guy had a timeline. They were supposed to finish the show a while ago.
He wanted to do other things.
And then that's what I'm saying. He wanted to do the Horizon series, which is that movie that came out, which I think flopped. But he wants to do all that, but whatever.
Anyways, actors always think they're bigger than their show, right?
I like this one. Agree or disagree? Taylor Sheridan's writing focuses too much on toxic masculinity. 3, 2, 1. I kind of agree still.
I don't know.
I don't know
because if you watched what's her name, Zoe Saldana and what's her, the Lioness, that's a female lead show, and I'm not gonna lie. She'll put a lot of dudes in their place. I mean, she'll put a lot of dudes in their place. She was on it. She was absolutely on it.
That's how fiction works. Sorry.
I know, but looking at the question, his writing focuses too much on toxic masculinity.
I would say more so, it's more like an American patriotic vibe. Like we gotta protect our country. We gotta protect cowboying. Yeah. We gotta protect the oil and things that don't need protecting.
Definitely very
patriotic.
100%. Yeah.
Which, if you hyper-analyze it, does include masculinity. I don't know if it's toxic, but whatever.
All right, I got a CW one for you. Agree or disagree? The Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover was overhyped and underwhelming. 3, 2, 1. Disagree. You're so chopped, man.
Wait.
This guy doesn't like good shit and he likes trash shit. I don't know. Like, the Crisis on Infinite Earths, all the crossovers showing us everything is connected when it comes to live action DC universe. That's all shit to you. Ezra Miller, bun that guy, but Ezra Miller coming in, having that cameo with Grant Gustin's Flash. He named him the Flash.
If your name isn't Grant Gustin or Stephen Amell, the rest of you motherfuckers, go get a bus pass and leave the studio right now. Because I'm gonna sit here and act like
Crisis was amazing.
Who are those idiots called? The ones that went on a boat? The time travel idiots? What were they called?
The time traveling idiots?
Legends of Tomorrow. I want to know who greenlit that show, who allowed it to air, who brought them to the studio, and who said that's okay.
Agree or disagree?
All you guys should get fired banned from TV for at least 10 years.
Look at this one. Agree or disagree? Legends of Tomorrow was the most creative show in the Arrowverse.
Lord have mercy.
Super disagree.
Lord have mercy. It's like there's like, dude, I watched it. I wish there was like the Men in Black, the mind wiping thing. The wipe. That is one of the worst pieces of media. And you know what? DC does it to themselves. Who the hell allowed them? Who sat in a room and said, "Yo, we need the most uninteresting characters on the planet."
That was literally their pitch.
And then we need to put them all as a group, as a team. So not only are they horribly uninteresting by themselves, let's put them together as a...
You taking the premise of them, how the guy first came and said, "You guys are gonna be legends in the future," and then they found out that they're just the losers.
Yeah, they're losers.
And like, oh my god, that was so bad.
I don't think they played. Yeah, I don't think.
No, it was a good premise in the beginning, but like,
I don't think they played onto it. I don't think they played on it. Played onto the like we're losers. They could have made them losers that mattered. Kind of like how Deadpool did it. Deadpool, he was promised to be, you're the GOAT, you're Marvel Jesus. And he was being played the whole time. They're like, fam, like, you think you're going to say, like, you're a waste, you.
They should know. They're actually telling him.
Oh my god.
They're saving him because he has a future.
I gotta go.
And they're referencing, obviously, him coming back in, like, Secret Wars or whatever.
Okay, agree or disagree? Man of Steel is the best Superman movie ever made. 3, 2, 1.
Agree.
Oh my god!
As of now, what's better? Superman Returns?
Oh my god!
Richard Donner Superman, where he looked like there was a string.
I would rather watch Superman Returns and that in his eye. You remember that? The bullet in his eye? Over Man of Steel again. Man of Steel is horrible, bro. Horrible. I want you to understand. This movie's not good. It's a bad movie with 3 good parts. The opening scene, the flying scene, and some of the end. That's it. Lois was trash. Amy Adams is a bad Lois Lane.
Are you finished?
The choppiness of that movie. No, you don't remember that scene when they're in the interrogation room? And then 2 seconds later, they're in the desert?
This guy will not leave the scene out where it's just like, okay, whatever.
So you're talking about Daredevil jumping off of the freaking roof in the wall.
I said it was bad.
And it's choppy.
I said it was bad.
Okay, so is that scene bad?
Yes, whatever.
No, don't whatever me, bro. It's bad, right?
Yo, yeah.
That scene was trash.
Listen.
And that's just one scene.
Can I say something?
That movie was garbage, bro.
Man of Steel, garbage. I was bagging. You know what's funny? I was actually watching Zod versus Superman today. I was watching it on YouTube.
This guy's getting ready.
No, real deal. Look. This guy,
Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman carries the SpiderVerse. Sorry. I had to cut you off.
Don't ask that question.
Go.
Don't even ask that question. Look, that movie. Look, it was the best of everything. It had really terrible parts. It had really great parts. It had amazing, influential parts, and it had really shit parts. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yo, the movie was good, all in, all out. But yo, this is one of those movies I feel like it aged better throughout time. Just as like a lot of these movies they watched in the beginning. Yes, there was a lot of dumb things. The way Jonathan Kent died.
Yes, thank you. That's what I'm about to say.
The way they portrayed his parents in Smallville, like they're like a bunch of assholes.
The way his dad died was 10 out of 10?
No, like it was dumb. Like
everything that to do with him and Lois.
The way that they portrayed his foster parents, it's like don't save them, let them die. Like what?
Yeah, the kids, right?
Yo, business.
All the scenes with Lois Lane are shit. Every single
I think she wasn't a good Lois. I feel like they were just 2 people who were like forced to like each other or love each other or whatever. That was ass.
And it sucks because she's a great actress, but like that was a horrible role for her.
It was like, unfortunately, I don't know how this is even possible, but this might be the first movie where it's a slow burn and a friggin' roller coaster at the same time. Because the beginning was like you had
the beginning and that's good.
Emo.
I'm
Clark
sorry.
Kent. No, like
no way. We're watching Jonathan Kent in Smallville. One of the greatest portrayals of that character. And then you see Kevin Costner's portrayal of this Jonathan Kent.
I'm pissed off.
And the nigga's telling him, you should have let these guys die.
Yeah.
The nigga's telling him, don't save me. Yeah. When he's supposed to die from something Superman can't save him from. Cancer, a heart attack, something. But no, he can save him from a freaking tornado, bro.
Yeah. It should have been something like, it was just, like...
I don't think it's the best Superman movie ever made. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think it's the best story that they have. I think it was very choppy. I think it was very dark. It was very dark, fam. We didn't need another Batman.
We always have
live action Superman fighting.
Yes. And like this is what we needed from Superman.
You know what? As somebody who says I love action and stuff, the action cannot save the bad parts of this movie. I'm sorry, it can't. That flying scene, though, I'll give it to you. That's the best flying scene I've ever seen.
There are things that you can appreciate in this movie. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying the movie on its own was a good movie. As a movie,
it's my bottom 6 superhero movies of all time, though.
I think you overrate it.
No, I'll put Madam Web. I'll put the first 2 Wonder Woman movies.
A 6 out of 10.
I'll put the first 2 Joker movies, and I'll put Morbius. So it's 7.
Man of Steel's on
7.
top.
Yeah, it's the 7th bad movie.
Dude, I think it's over.
Oh my God, sorry, 8. Fan Force Sticks in there. Yeah. Fan Force Sticks in there.
Yeah. What about Amazing Spider-Man?
It's better. I mean, both the Amazing Spider-Mans are better than Man of Steel.
Would you rather watch Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man, or would you rather watch Man of Steel?
Andrew Garfield's what?
His movies or Man of Steel? If you had to pick one to erase.
Andrew Garfield's movies.
Thank you.
Damn.
Thank you. For the record, he picked Andrew Garfield. My guy in the back.
I just don't think. Look, that scene, that action scene where Superman is punching Zod, look like this, and he's hitting him like that. You know how many times you can see that exact sequence recreated?
Yes. That fight scene was really good.
Look at Superman and Lois.
It's the third best part of the film.
They took the tone one for one. They just did it. They executed it better.
Superman and Lois is way better than Man of Steel.
Yes, they executed it the tone, but a lot of it is influenced by Man of Steel.
It might be a hot take.
Is it
Tyler Hoechlin's a better Superman than Henry Cavill?
I've said that.
Yeah, I think Tyler Hoechlin is probably my favorite. Was
Man of Steel not an
right
influence on Superman and Lois? Tone and visuals, was it not the same? Was it not bleak and gloomy, but they just executed it with better writing?
I think it was influenced because of. I don't think Man of Steel influenced it. I think they wanted to separate it from the CW verse when they went to HBO and they made it darker. I don't think they did it because of Man of Steel. That punching scene's in a lot of Superman stuff. I'll give you that. It's a really good scene. But
it's a great scene.
Nah, fam. I think Superman and Lois is its own thing.
The CGI was really good in that
Superman
movie.
and Lois had better
the CGI
family moments. It had better. It had better freaking Lois Lane.
Yeah.
It had better. Literally, Clark and Lois moments.
It wasn't good at making the human parts good. It wasn't good at making you care about things that are important.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it was good at majority of the Superman stuff, minus the killing at the end. The killing part, it could have made more sense. Like,
I'm not so bad. I'm not so hung up on that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's like he had to take a life.
Because they showed the other Superman, the original one, when he took
bodies.
Zod, he took the other shorty, and he threw he deaded them.
Yeah,
he deaded them. They didn't have powers, and he threw them in this fortress. They're dead.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
He was a body catcher.
But I don't know.
But they could have did it in a better way, where it's like, this guy kind of doesn't. Now he knows what it feels like to take a life.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But I feel like they didn't emphasize it a lot, and then plus in BVS and the opening scene where he flew that African warlord into a wall, he's definitely dead.
All right, last question. And I think I know where you're standing on this, but agree or disagree? Ben Affleck is the best live action Batman ever. Agree. Batfleck is that guy taken straight out the comics. That warehouse scene was freaking amazing.
Damn me.
That's something we agree on 100%. Love you guys. We'll be back for episode 2. Hope you like this episode. I'm Aces. That's DJ. We're in the Real Pod.